Hello, welcome to Cards of the Week. I am Bayasan,
And I'm the Night Shadow.
and we are going to be doing the Cards of the Week for this week. I'm not going to bother with the numbers because if you can't read a damn title, it's not my fault.
And come on, man. It's February 16th to 20th.
Damn. Anyways, first we'll be talking about Mookie Homes because it's rather small and I felt like we should just do that first. First card is Alternative Cordelia, blue 2/145, detective and sport trait. Assist. All your characters in front of this gains X. X use the level of that card times 500. You can pay 2 and rest S to draw a card.
Not bad for a not bad for a trial deck card.
For trial deck card, it's actually pretty decent. Level support, pay 2 to draw 1. It's
Yeah.
honestly pretty decent. If the level 3 was better.
You don't like the level 3.
No, I didn't really like that level 3.
Okay.
I know I didn't really, you talked about it last week. I wasn't paying attention to it, but no, I didn't really like that level 3. Even for a trial deck card, it was like whatever. So next cards. Next card I'm going to talk about is Henrietta in the Office. Blue 003K, Detective and Zoo Council. This card gains Thief while on stage.
Is it Thief or is it Phantom Thief?
I believe it's Phantom Thief, to be honest.
That's what I thought. I ran the Phantom Thief deck once, so.
Basically, to be honest, her gaining Phantom Thief is pretty much staple thing on her characters anyways that aren't Phantom Thief already.
Yep.
Honestly, but the side side is a vanilla card. It's nothing special unless you play like Ash from King of Fighter.
In which case, this is 3,000 power. Yay.
What does that mean? I mean Ash from King of Fighter, which gains 1k for every trade on field.
That's what I said. So
Yeah,
it gives it 3k.
Plus 3k. Yeah. Next, I'm going to talk about 2 cards because they're both vanillas. Embarrassed Look Kazumi, yellow 1055. That card's detective trait. And Morning Preparation Alice 117k. That card's detective trait. Nothing special, I would assume. We move on.
Yeah, because I think we covered all they covered pretty much every card in the trial deck. It's been a while since we've had a trial deck that we had that many vanillas, I guess, because I don't remember all the vanillas being showcased like this before. But maybe it's just been a while.
I don't even know what the release date of Mookie Homes Club TD is anymore, to be honest.
I think it's the same day as Terraformers booster.
Oh god, well, to be honest, I think Terraformers is going to be overloading over Mookie Homes anyways, so yeah.
Oh man.
Alright.
So moving on, Terraformers. First card out of many. Officer Asimov is a level 3 cost 2, 9500 power yellow character with the modified and crab trait. When this comes into play, this card gets 2k power and all characters you control gain +1 soul. When this card front attacks and all other characters you control are modified, this card gets power times X until the end of this turn, where X is the soul of this card multiplied by 1,000. When this card attacks and the Climax Crab Warrior is on your Climax zone, all your characters gain 3k until the end of this turn. Man, this soul mechanic is everywhere in the yellow.
I think just the Russians, to be honest. Before we forget, the Climax is a 1k1 shot trigger.
Oh yes, thanks.
So on drop, give this card's 11k and all your other cards gain a soul, which effectively means all your attacks will be at least 2 souls. This card, first turn at least, will become a 13-5, 16, 17-5 if you happen to have the Climax. Honestly, I think this is terrible.
13-5? How'd you get that?
2k on play and 2k on attack.
The soul of this card is 3.
It's 2.
No, all your characters get +1, not just, and it already starts with 2.
My bad. You're right.
And then if you play a Climax, of course, there's which you're playing Crab Warrior for the Climax, which is another 1 soul.
You're right. My bad. You're right. I was wrong. Okay. Basically, this is a very, very power-heavy card.
You can basically go up to 19-5 when you play the Climax on the turn you play it.
That's
not bad.
If you're looking for really high power, but I don't think you actually need to reach that much power unless you're like fighting a card like Nico.
Nico or
no. If you seriously say Yori, I don't think you need that much power against Yori.
Oh no. I was thinking of the Log Horizon bodyguard. I forgot his name already. Naotogu.
Oh yeah, you're right. That is very possible, to be honest.
But that's a corner case, and not that many series get that defensive in terms of power. So,
It's kind of hard to judge on this. I mean, like the +1 soul could be a good or bad thing. And the Climax is like kind of meh. it feels like yes, all your cards gain 3k, technically 4k if you consider the climax as well, but like is that it? Is that even is there even a good reason to even be playing the climax just to gain 3k to all your field?
Well, if I recall correctly, a very similar effect was in Vivid Red, except 1500 to all characters instead of 3k. So
There was also a similar effect in Automaster, except it was on a 2-1, and the climax itself is actually splittable by 2 ways now. But honestly, I don't think you'd be playing the climax. If you are playing this card, to be honest, I don't think you need that much power.
so would you run this as basically like those people that run the +1 soul characters just as a tech card?
That's what I would think. I
Okay.
don't think you need that much to cut. Honestly, I think the main 2 cards for yellow would be Adolf at 3 or 4 copies, and
Mm-hmm.
whatever the other one was, I forgot. At 3 or 4, no, it has to be 4 copies. Has to be 4 copies. If you put it at 3, it's kind of hard to drop it at level 2. This one, I can't. If I was playing yellow, I don't think I could actually find a place for it.
I
It
think you
depends.
probably play
It
the
all.
one.
It really
Play as a
depends.
one-of.
It really all depends if I'm even playing the healer at all. Out off is kind of a obvious putting yellow deck. It's below average for me.
I'd say it's a tech at best.
Okay, we
And
move on. I guess it's not much to
horrible
talk about. I
otherwise.
think.
Alright, so member of Annex 1, Alexander. It's a level 1 cost 1, 6000 power yellow character with the modified and bug traits. With this card, front attacks, and all your other characters have the modified trait, this card gets plus X power, X to the soul of this character multiplied by I think I just read this before. And also has hand encore.
On attack 7k minimum. Minimum. I'm not gonna say anything. If you also have to remember that if you trigger on this point, it won't gain that 1k power on that soul trigger because
Because it's on the declaration of the front attack.
that's right. Basically, as far as I know, you're probably staple 1-1 to go to with encore.
This ability would have been interesting if you could restand, but unfortunately no.
Yeah, that's true. If you could restand it, it'd technically be spammable, but
It's a pretty solid yellow card with encore. Attacking for 7k is okay. You'd expect more from a 1-1 on all honesty, but this is playable.
I'd just say yes, it's playable. That's all there is to it. It feels like there's better 1-1-7Ks on other sets, but we'll just that has an encore. But we'll just go with what you don't just go with what they got.
Yeah. Alright, moving on. Member of Annex 1, Elena. Level 0, cost 0, 2000 power, yellow character with the modified trait. When this card declares an attack, choose another character you control and give it plus X power until the end of the turn, where X is the soul of that character multiplied by 1000. My goodness, all these soul cards.
So you could tell, Russians love their soul.
Well, to be fair, the motherland is their soul, and they actually say that quite a bit.
Yes, I say that quite a number of times. This one gives other cards power X to their soul, so they cannot give itself. So it's kind of hard to judge how good this card is. It really goes down to how much soul you can give a card, and that could be a bad thing too. To be honest, too much soul could be a bad thing. So it feels like it feels like this card it could be read as when this card give one card 1k, or give this card 2k or
Yeah.
3k. You know, something like that. That's how I'm gonna briefly announce this card. When this card attacks, give a card 1k. That I'm just calling it out, okay?
Pretty much. If you have a 1k1 climax out, it's essentially give another character 2k.
Plus 2 soul, give another card 3k.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! Honestly, and now we say it like that, it's better than similar versions to this card, but it's
Still not that great.
still not that great. The guy has to attack after. It has to attack after all.
Alright, moving on. Member of NX1, Ivan. Level 2, cost 1, 6000 power. Yellow character with the plant and modified traits. I tried to combine those two traits together for some reason. During your own turn, this becomes a level assister. Global level assist. That is X power times the level multiplied by 500 to each character. As an activated ability, you can discard the member of Annex 1 Elena from your hand to the waiting room and then rest this card to give all your characters plus 1 soul until the end of the turn. If you have to run a bad card to activate a bad effect, you know the card is borderline bad.
I'm just not gonna say anything, to be honest.
Global level assist during your turn is fine, in a way. Believe it or not, Nanoha has a better one, and they're not running it. I don't see any reason for a set that has way superior effects, like Terraformers, to be running this, other than the fact that you really, really, really want that soul. Now, in which case, if you're getting all this soul, you'll probably want to be side attacking to keep your characters, or if you're front attacking, you're just aiming to cause cancels and or push for damage when your opponent is Climax screwed. I'm not sure what kind of deck Yellow's trying to make here.
It feels like a Soul Rush without being trying to Soul Rush power deck, but it just seems like it's not cool. It's not mixing very well.
It's just weird to me.
Technically, you could see the synergy to all these last four cards, but it's just face palming to be honest. It feels like they're trying something, but maybe I don't have enough knowledge. It just feels like it's not going anywhere. I mean, yes, +1 soul to every card. That could technically mean you have a miniature Junior, except it's worse than Junior because Junior is straight up on field and not managing yourself all the time. Nor do you have to think about front attacking all the time either.
Yeah, not really sure what else to think about that.
Can't judge on this card. We do know what the discard is, and that card is kind of okay, average. So this card is like global level support on your turn only. Depends on the level 2 cards to be honest. Level 1s I just think of as global 500.
Alright, moving on. Member of Annex 1 Nina. This is level 0, cost 0, 1500 power yellow character with the modified and bug traits. During your turn, your character in your center slot of your center stage gets 1000 power, and as an act ability, you can pay 1 and tap this to give one character that is a modified trait +1 soul.
Wow. Wow. I could rest 2 twins to do the exact same thing. And it cost me nothing.
This is actually marginally more playable than any other card we've seen so far.
That's the sad part. It's actually better. I think it's better than some other cards up above, and this is already a bad card.
No, it's not a bad card. I'm reminded of that right now actually of Girlfriend Beta Yellow, where the first effect is a staple because you need that center power to be really strong during your turn, and you don't really care during your opponent's turn, and you just have encores on the side.
Yeah, I guess so. No, to me, because I had a card that's like, nope, just give your center 15 both turns. But you can always talk about that some other time. The pay 1 to rest to give a card a soul feels like just no. It's like, yes, let's give a card 1 soul and maybe another K when it attacks. But is that all you're gonna do? Is that all you're gonna do?
Well, I like the +1 soul target only because you don't have to rely on a finicky brainstorm effect to do it, and you can target characters that you can guarantee side attacks or whatever in the late game. So I like this as a kind of tech card. Obviously, this card is not generally spectated within the general realm of usefulness, but I wouldn't count this card out as a tech card even for the meta deck.
I'm just not sure what to feel about this card. It's like, okay, give a card 1k during your turn only. Give a card a soul if you want to pay a stock for it. It just feels like there's so much better cards you could use. Even if you want to consider this card as a tech card.
Playable as a tech card if necessary. Other than that, it's probably going to be overlooked for other stuff. That's pretty much it. Alright, Illusions from the Datura Stramonium. Level 2 cost 0 event. That's yellow. You cannot play this if you don't have any modified characters, which why would you not? Choose one of your characters, give it 4k power and 2 soul until the end of the turn. All of these events for yellow are giving soul.
Before you said why aren't you not, it's a possibility that cockroaches might have yellow cards.
We haven't seen any yet.
But it's still possible. But we haven't seen it yet. It's still possible. But I'm just saying because the possibility of cockroach being all colors is still very possible.
Oh man, that would be a crazy thing. Because right now we've seen them in green and blue.
Honestly, I think this card is kind of just bad, to be honest.
Yes, I don't see a counter symbol.
If this had a counter symbol, I think it would cost 1.
I think it would be something along the lines of like 2-0 counter, no modified. Choose a character, give it 3,500 power and 2 soul.
It's hard to say how good this. Actually, forget this card is bad, but
You're gonna do your usual thing, but yeah, this card is not good at all.
I don't even think even if you're playing the whole deck in general, deck we talked about above in the cards of the week. Even then, I don't think they'll be playing this card. I mean, like, there's just so many better cards to use. I mean, like, I think even you might as well just be playing Yvonne and drop Ilya and basically getting the same thing.
Pretty
Almost.
much.
Almost. Almost. But if you look at it attacking wise, it's technically plus 7k on one card, which is it's kind of a hefty number. Not plus 7k, it's plus 6k, but
I'd rather have it like Gilfer and Beta, where it's like 1k times the number of yellow characters. I'd rather have it like that.
there is one in rewrite. It's a 1/1 that gives 6k straight up and goes in memory. Anyways, this card is pretty bad. I don't think a deck's gonna run it, even if for the deck it's made for.
Yeah, events have to do something spectacular in order to be played because they're not characters.
And this one is pretty player. If they had a counter symbol, that's another story though.
Yeah, unfortunately, this will be another 20 yen card. So, all right. So moving on to non-yellow cards. As Bright as the Sun, Sheila. This is a level 0, cost 0, 1500 power, green character with the modified trait. When this card becomes reversed in battle, you may pay 1, ditch 1, and send this to memory. If you do, search your deck for a modified character, show it to your opponent, add it to your hand, then shuffle your deck. Instant playable.
Instantly playable, just like that. Of course, the fact that it has to get reversed in battle could be detrimental. If you're not assuming that assuming that you decide to leave it on field.
Well, of course.
Other than that, but it shouldn't be too big of an issue. So yeah, the Terraformers even have a pay 1 drop 1 from hand on play search.
I don't remember one yet.
And because of this card release, not likely. I would assume not likely.
Yeah.
So
well,
yeah,
either way,
I think
this is a good card.
I think you'll be playing
play it.
three copies. 4.
Unless you're playing cockroaches.
Yeah, unless you play cockroaches. Yeah.
Wait, I think there's some cockroaches that still have modified.
No way.
Right?
I don't think so. I think they all had bug and that's it.
Oh, okay.
Because cockroaches aren't really technically modified.
Yeah, technically, yeah, fair enough. Even the musclemen cockroaches?
Even then.
Okay.
Even them, I think. I didn't really pay attention too much, to be honest.
Fair enough, it's cockroaches. Alright, moving on. Member of Annex 1, Marcos. Level 2, cost 2, 8500 power, green character with the modified and bug trait. For every marker underneath this card gets 4000 power, and when this card attacks and the Climax Anima Longing is in your Climax zone, and you have another character with Alex in its name, you may choose a character named as Bright as the Sun Sheila from your memory, and place it underneath this card as a marker.
The Climax is a Stockholm 1 soul, green card from your waiting room. Kind of hard to judge on this. Technically, that means you will be playing Sheila. Not like that's gonna be a questionable thing, anyways.
Actually, I don't see this as a question at all. This card sucks.
Yes, I'm gonna say that too. The card sucks, to be honest. If it was like 2k1 or even 1k draw.
No, even if the Climax was a 2k1 draw, this card sucks.
12-5. You technically have to pay 3 in total just to get this thing going.
12,500 that has no bounce protection, and you're spending costs on a 2/2 when the level 3s in the set are pretty insane.
I think there's even an early drop for level 3. In green too, to be honest.
I think it's in yellow and red. I think.
I know there's one in yellow for sure. The red one would be Akari.
Well, regardless, like this card is not a good fit in comparison to its peers. I don't see this being a good card. It's a lot of power, yes, to be fair. But there's too many things that you need to have happen. As Bright as the Sun Sheila, sure, that's fine. You have another character with Alex in his name? Really?
I don't think that's gonna be an issue if it's a back row card.
Yeah, but if we're looking at the set, we're seeing a whole bunch of 2 character pairings here, and this one has 3. 2 is kind of hard to get enough if you build the deck around it, and you're going to be throwing in a couple of those characters together. Sometimes you're going to be running on a suboptimal character just in order to get the effect. And as we're going to see with the next card, the next Alex isn't something that you want to carry on to level 2. And then finally, this Climax just sucks.
And the Climax does kind of suck, to be honest, for what it is. You would think it would be something different. Like, even a treasure bar. To be honest, if it was just a treasure bar, I think this would be better.
Yeah.
Because getting Sheila can easily go up to Alex or Marco pretty easily. Getting Alex, then it's a matter of trying to get the other one.
Mm-hmm.
So honestly, I didn't see it as too big of an option, too much big of a problem. It's just getting the Climax that'll be the biggest issue.
Yeah. All right. And speaking of the Alex, as I mentioned, the next card is an Alex. This member of Annex 1, Alex. This is a red level 1, cost 0 to 3,500 power. Just emphasizing the red here because it's not green. Modified in sports traits. All other modified characters get 500 power, and it has a brainstorm. You pay 1 and mill 4 cards. For every climax among those, choose a cost 0 or lower of your opponent's front row and send it to its owner's waiting room.
Wow, when's the last time I seen this? Oh right, there's only one card with that effect.
Railgun.
Railgun.
Except that's a level 0.
That's a level 0. At level 0, there's could be more targets.
This
But there's,
card,
at level 1 now, there's more people playing 1/1s, particularly now. Back then, when Rikuto was more prevalent, there's a lot of cost 0 cards. Because back then, the thing to do was to save your stock and heal spam at level 3.
the way that the trifecta goes in level 1 and level 2 is that if you have 1/0s dominating the meta, then running level 2s is the best option to clear them out. If you are running 1/1s, then running 1/0s is the best way to clear them out. And if there's a whole bunch of 2s in the field, running 1/1s with climaxes will be able to take out those 2s. No problem. So, this card really, really desperately wants level 2s for some reason to be in the deck, and I'm not sure how I feel about that.
In the other hand, you could look at this as a spammable brainstorm that we do not have not yet to see another brainstorm that is spammable. And it's a +1 in general terms, so this is assuming you have targets, so it's spammable, possible +1. I think it really depends on the matchup you're against, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
If it was just against my other master deck, I would just get wrecked by this, just like any other time playing against Railgun. In the worst case, it's a global 500.
But see, I don't think you're going to carry this over to level 2. I think you'd at least want to have the level support at the back, right?
Well, we only have seen one Alex card. We have to see what happens with Marco later. I honestly think Marco is going to be a terrible card in general.
Yeah.
Alex, I think, will be ran as one copy if you're running red. I think you'll be running this card in the Akari deck anyways, because it's spammable brainstorm and global 500.
Well, we are going to cover for more Marcos and Alex cards, and I think the next Alex card is a little bit more playable in regards to keeping on the field. I'm not. I guess I'm just to say I'm not a fan of that brainstorm.
Because it feels like you get nothing out of it unless you're
no, not because of that. It's just because like it feels like a waste of a slot at level 1. You usually want to have your tech cards at level 0, not level 1.
Look at Angel Beat. Their brainstorm is at level 1.
Well, you don't have a choice on that one because the other one that's a brainstorm is level 0 and it searches for music characters.
No, even before that.
Yeah, I know. Like before that, I'm just saying like you don't have a choice in the matter. But here we actually have a tap brainstorm at level 0. So.
But you have to remember there is no spammable brainstorm, so you may not even have an option on choice of spammable anyways.
I guess. If that ends up being the case, then yeah, this card's a lot more playable. But obviously, reserve judgment on the final verdict until the full product is out.
I think it's just decent. Brainstorm could be godsend or the worst thing ever, depending on your opponents, to be honest.
All right, moving on. Heading for Mars. Alex, level 1 cost 0, 4,500 power with a red character with modified and sports traits. When this comes into play and you have another character with Marcos in its name on the field, this card gets 2k power for the turn. When you play the Climax Something We Must Do on your Climax zone, this card gets 1k power, and the following ability. When you reverse a character, top deck it. This Climax combo is a +2 soul.
Whoa, +2 soul! Now I've heard everything.
Is that sarcasm?
Yes, it is. Honestly, you would think this Climax combo would be on something that gives power.
And it does technically give power. It gives 1,000, but 1,000 is just chump change.
Yeah, I was not expecting this Climax combo on a +2 soul Climax.
Because
reasons.
Fair enough.
Technically, if you look at it this way, it's a 75 that could top deck 1/1 with encores, so that you can look at that as a good thing. But +2 soul.
That's so much damage. Like you're now okay. To be fair, a +2 soul at level 1 isn't always bad, as Ashigara has proven just recently in Kantai Collection. When you're attacking for 3 soul, the mathematics of it work out to you're usually good to go as long as you have 50% chance of hitting. It's worth it to make the attack if you do that. And fronting for 3 is not necessarily bad. The thing is, the problem with the +2 soul, just like a bunch of other climaxes, is that you lose a card in your hand and you don't get any back. especially because this card is a 1045 on defense and is going to pretty much die, so you have to replace it next turn. This is kind of why this card and combo are bad.
Honestly, I would say this card is better, good, but it's hard to say because first of all, to gain that 2K, you have to have a card with Marco on the field as well first. So that means if there's a Marco card that needs a card with Alex in the name, that would kind of conflict with each other.
The Marcos we're gonna cover is a runner though, so
You got a point, but but you know what I'm talking about.
yeah. It relies on a certain card, and like I mentioned before, a lot of these cards on in Terraformers rely on two-person pairing. So you have to either build your deck around one group or multiple groups and hope you just draw the right ones, or salvage the right ones, or search the right ones. So
Honestly, I don't think this card is worth for using. Too many possible things to lose at one time. This kind of card will only be possibly good against cards with heavy encore, and even then, they can easily counter this card too, anyways.
so yeah, not a good card, unfortunately.
I would like to say this card would be interestingly good, but
Not.
it's not. It was like 2K1 or even a 1K1, even a 1K1 comeback. I would be like, it's average, but it's not a card that doesn't even give power.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Let's talk about this Marcos runner. So level 0 cost 0, 2500 power, green character with the modified and bug traits. Starting your opponent's attack phase, mill one card. If that card is a modified character, you can move this card to an empty border on your front row.
This is pretty standard for a runner now. It's okay. It's not an Azusa.
It never will be.
It never will be. If that card ever gets reprinted, Butchie Road, what the fuck are you thinking?
Is Asuna still on the limited list?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, there's a reason.
So it's pretty average for a runner. So there's nothing special on it. To be honest, it's not. It's good. I'm not gonna say it's bad. Actually, it's a good card.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy. It's an easy mill. It's not like Love Lives where Love Live have to mill level 0. That's kind of stupid. What am I going to say? It's a runner card. We move on.
Yeah. Solid card. Definitely playable. Playable as a 2 or 3 of.
I say 3-0.
Okay.
Even if you're not playing green, I say 3-0.
Yeah, okay. Alright, heading for Mars Marcos. Level 1 cost 1, 6500 power, green character with the modified and bug traits. If you have 2 or more characters with Alex in their names, this card gets 500 power, and this card cannot be reversed by your opponent's auto effects. Now, this is a better card if the Alex support was better.
What do you mean? I think honestly, yes, Alex support is better as just a 1 copy, but at 2 copies, it kind of kills one point of the brainstorm. At least 1 slot.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if it wasn't redundant, I guess that's what I really meant to say. Because having 2 characters with Alex in the name is pretty simple if you just keep the back row, because that front row one is crap. So,
on the other hand, you could look at it as this card is being fodder for the front row one if you need to drop 1065.
true enough. But then you lose your Alex again.
You got a point. But I think it'll be fine because technically you're assuming you'll be attacking to a card that has not enough power to beat the Alex card.
Yep.
It doesn't really matter too much. I don't think it's too much to mention anyways. It's 7K that cannot be reversed by auto effects. Assuming you use the back row support, it's an 8K that cannot be reversed by auto effects.
That's not too bad.
If you look at it, it's kind of like Haruka. Except Haruka is good as a standalone. This one is not standalone.
Quite a bit of setup. So this would be good if Alex was a lot better, aka you didn't need Alex, but
honestly, if this was like if you just need two modified traits,
it would be 3 modified.
Yeah, you're right. It would be 3 modified. This would be a whole lot better. It would become a 7K that cannot be reversed by auto effects.
And if I recall correctly, we actually dismissed that Haruka when we covered it in the cards of the day, when it was exactly the same thing.
Did we dismiss that?
I think I did, and you didn't.
Well, whatever. Honestly, I never actually used that Haruka card as a character on field, anyways.
Yeah. This card is
This one is kind of an on-field character.
This is the closest to playable out of this entire group.
Yeah, I guess so. I still think the support is playable.
Oh no, yeah. Besides the support, sorry.
So I say the support is playable. Marco, it depends on the Alex cards themselves, but because it's support, I say it's playable. to a degree. Not much to say about it. It's not like it has add-on core or anything.
All right, moving on. Officer Liu Yui. Yiwu. Oh man, that is an ancient name. Level 3 cost 2, 10,000 power, yellow character with the modified trait. Character opposite this loses 1 soul. When this card attacks or defends, your opponent cannot play any backup abilities from their hand. And at the start of your climax phase, you lose all stock in your waiting room, and this card gets 3k until the end of your opponent's next turn. Bad.
You know what I said about the yellow playable cards? Yeah, this one's gotta be the worst of them all.
What is this?
Even the Russian guy is better than this. What's his name?
What is this?
Was it Kokovich? Whatever. Anyways,
What
this
is
guy?
this?
Okay. What? I'm trying to see this on the bright side. It's a -1 soul. Okay,
That's
forget
bright
it. That's pretty.
That's the bright side?
Okay. They cannot counter with backups. That could be big. It could be big.
Okay, fine, fair.
It's a
Okay, what
13k. It's a 13k. Technically, 13k. You cannot use regular backup on. Okay. You know what? Fuck it. This card's bad. I'm trying to find good points to this card. Like most cards, most time I do, but I just can't seem to do it. I mean, like, if I want to do the same thing, I might as well just play Chihaya again.
The only level 3 I can think of that is worse than this in yellow and is either common or uncommon is the Sasami from Little Buster's Ecstasy.
Oh come on, that's wow. You went that far.
It's a level 3 cost 3 soul. A character opposite that gets -1 level, and when you reverse a character, send it to memory.
I suppose if you look at it that way, yes, this card is better.
Yeah, that's not saying much because that's a common card.
Oh my god. Anyways, this card is bad. No one's going to be playing this unless you're playing some really stupid budget deck.
Moving on. Adult Personality Eva. Level 2 costs 1, 2,500 power, yellow character with a modified trait. This is an act counter backup. Level 3,000 for level 2.
We move on. There's nothing to talk about this, to be honest.
Yep. The Thunder and Lightning of the 5th Squad. Adolf. Yellow character with a 500 powers, level 0 cost 0 with the modified and electricity traits. This card comes from played on stage from your hand, reveal the top card of your deck. If that's a modified character, add it to your hand and discard 1 card. When this comes to play, you may pay 1. If you do, choose a Grain of the Thunderstorm from your waiting room and add it to your hand. This is the 1/1 counter.
Which we talk about later.
Because of the 1/1 and how I think it is playable, this is actually not bad.
I'm not gonna say anything because I kind of need to see at least a level 1 Adolf that's playable.
That's true, because the 1/1 event does require an Adolf, and what I think is that basically what's gonna happen is that you're gonna use it the turn that you get, you get it from the waiting room. This will die during your opponent's next turn, but you have the option of using the 3,500 wherever you want.
In the worst case, you could just keep this in the back row to keep the counter active.
Not really worth it when.
But
you
not
have
really worth it when it's only 500 power. It does not actually do any real support, and the only thing, if you're not playing, honestly, you will not. I don't think you'll be playing this card if you're not playing the counter.
Oh,
The first effect is just not worth it by itself.
It's nice when it's stapled onto something else.
But on here, it's really depends on your deck and the Adolf level 1s.
Yeah.
I think that for me, I honestly think that is the breaking point for me for this card and the next card.
Yeah. So the event is a Grain of the Thunderstorm, 1/1 yellow event. You cannot play this card from your hand if you don't control a character with Adolf in its name. Counter, choose one of your modified characters, give it 3,500 power and 1 soul until the end of the turn.
Now,
This, as a counter, if this didn't have the Adolf restriction, this would be 100% playable. Without it, though, this becomes an interesting conundrum. Because we know of a level 0, there's a level 2 coming up, and then we know the level 3.
Then we don't know. We have nothing on the level 1. We assume there's gonna be Adolf level 1 at this point.
If there is no Adolf level 1, is this card playable?
No, unless there's a good Adolf support.
Well, I mean, if this is all we see, the 0, 2, and 3, and that's it.
Right now, no, because
Okay.
at this point, if this counter was like a 2/1, then maybe, and had a bit more power to it. But right now, I'm looking at a 1/1, which means I have to see a level 1 that is either a support or in the front row that is worth playing.
Okay.
Because honestly, if it did not have that sub restriction, it just was straight up 35. That's fine. But because it isn't, it also gains one soul, which makes it
which
playable.
is useless.
Depends on what you need, but most of the time useless. So I only see this as a 35 parry counter with a restriction. So yeah.
All right, moving on. The level 2 Adolf, as I mentioned earlier. This is a member of Annex 1 Adolf. Level 2 costs 1, 8,000 power. Yellow character with the modified electricity trait. When this card attacks and the Climax Der Zitteral, aka Electric Animal, that's German, on your Climax zone, you can take the top card of your deck and place it in your clock. If you do, search for a modified character, show it to your opponent, add it to your hand, shuffle your deck, and then until the end of the turn, this card gets 2k power and your opponent cannot encore.
The
The
Climax,
Climax is a 1k1 wind. I actually like this a lot.
I think it's actually quite decent. Climax combo, obvious problems. The fact that it has a clock at level 2 might be a small issue, depending because how the games has been.
But to be fair, when you do this, when you do that, you also get a search, which normally these kinds of things don't give you. And when you search, you can search out for your level 3, especially because when you're level 2, you usually have refreshed already. So you will be paying out stock to a new waiting room. So that will be nice.
I'd say this card is very playable because like I said, it lets you search, it can run over cards, it stops all Encore,
And you search for your level 3.
and you search for Adolf.
And the best part is that if you have multiple of these characters, right?
I don't think you'd be clocking that many times, to be honest.
No, you don't. You only need to clock once because you're not gonna stack the auto encore, the anti encore effect.
You can't stack that. There's no stock. There's no stacking that. There's no way.
Yeah, so there's no point, and that's what you usually play the effect for. Though you get a bonus by taking 1 damage. Normally, it's just like it's normally a free effect if I recall correctly.
Which one? The search?
No, the anti encore on climax combo.
It depends on which one you're looking for. If you're talking about the one from Little Buzzers, yes, that one was free.
1500 power and gain free encore. Yeah, I like it. I don't know how playable it is, but I like it.
I would say it depends on your climax distribution at this point.
Yeah, I think wind is going to be really important in the upcoming couple metas.
Hard to say. Honestly, hard to say.
It's tempo based, and I think tempo is what's going to start ruling now that Little Busters is almost going to be undisputedly the top deck.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna be the top deck. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be the top deck, and Wind Trigger on that deck is pretty hard on it.
So we'll see what happens, but I think that a tempo game type of game does need to be played.
So yeah, I think this card is definitely playable. If you play yellow, I mean, like yellow already has 2k. I think it was a 2k1 soul search.
Oh wow.
I believe it was. Yeah, it's a 2k1 that lets you that kill card on the field to search for level 3 Adolf and another card.
Been a while.
But yeah, this card very playable. I mean, like if the level 3 Adolf was not in there, you might search for this card instead. That being said, that would mean your Climax combo is containing Wind Triggers and 2k1 souls. That could be a problem. We'll see what people make out of yellow.
All right, member of Annex 1 Sheila, level 2, costs 6,000 power with green character with the modified trait. Give all your other modified characters 1,000 power, and you can rest this to choose a character with Marcos, Alex, or Komachi and give it 1,000 power until the end of the turn. That is playable.
Now, the global 1k as alone would put playable to me. The fact that you just have to rest as a gift card 1k makes it even better. Although target specific names, don't think it's gonna be too much of an issue if that is like your main front row cards.
The only problem I see with this whole name targeting is that Marcos is green, Alex is red, Komachi is blue.
Is Komachi actually blue? Okay. Anyways,
That's my problem. We've already seen it in the trial deck. Shokichi Komachi.
but that is when he's in Bugs 2.
Yeah, but there's an upcoming card. He's also blue.
Okay, blue. Okay, fine. So the plus 1k global it's definitely thumbs up for me, to be honest. That means your level 1 gains 1k too. It's not like level supports. The whole name targeting thing is kind of really, but whatever. You take it for what it is.
Yeah. So if you run Marcos or Alex and Komachi with high numbers, any number of those characters, then this card becomes insane. You run 2 of those characters, yeah, this card is an instant playable at 3 of.
Of course, this technically means that one Marco 65 is like not as playable as it was before.
Yeah.
but we could leave that to another time.
Yeah, unfortunately. Ironically, making this card makes Marcos worse.
You think this if this card was ours, you think you if this card was ours, that would be amazing.
Yeah, like if this had Alex in the name,
Somewhere this card would be then that
like thinking of Alex Sheila or something like that. I don't know.
that one marker would be fucking amazing.
Yeah. All right. So moving on. Member of Annex 1, Yanasugawa Yaiko. Level 1, cost 0, 6500 power, red character with the modified and animal traits. When this comes into play, your opponent may reveal their hand. If there are any climaxes among that hand, you may put this card to rest.
Now this card is a remnant
4
of...
of...
Wow, this guy just went up. Anyways, this card is remnants of a card in that couple.
Yes, a certain Kotori card. Level 0 costs 0 4k with the exact same ability. It was really interesting to be able to reveal your opponent's hand really early if they had a climax to make this card go to rest, but most smart players would not reveal their hand even if they did have a climax.
And I think it depends on the deck themselves, to be honest. I mean, like if it was my Honor Master deck, I might be hesitant to do it, but I have reasons to do it.
Fair enough.
I would say it's more dependent on your opponent's deck, but most of the time I don't think they'll reveal it. But if you do, I mean, like for example, if this was end game, this card is the worst thing possible. Maybe this could possibly be the worst thing possible to play.
Why? Your opponent would have a climax.
The chances are that your opponent having a climax in your hand depends on, like I said, depends on the deck. If they're like playing Ken card Akagi, yes, I'm pretty sure they're gonna have the climax in their hand.
Oh yeah, of course.
So and that kind of mean to you? That means you gotta push your support up just to avoid Kagi.
To be fair, you did get to see their hand, and so you know what they're gonna do next turn.
Yes, you got a point. So the fact this card alone can technically reveal a lot of things. At a price of this card possibly going to rest, and maybe force to push your support up.
The reason I say this is a 4 of is because it's a 1065 as opposed to a 004k, which in the grand scheme of things will not matter much, but this one will. Secondly, this is in red.
Somehow we just saw that. Somehow just saw that one coming. To be honest,
Yeah.
somehow I just saw that one coming.
To me, this card fulfills all the requirements I'm looking for a really powerful 1-0. This may not be a 117k, but that drawback is rarely a drawback. You want a character on the stage, or do you want information? And if you know what to make of the information, then this card is completely and utterly playable. Otherwise, this is the worst drawback possible for you.
Yeah, if they review your hand and they have a climax and you don't know what shit card does in there, that's kind of pointless.
It is. You really need to know your opponent's series, or at least you don't want to be stopping them saying, "Oh, what does this card do?" and "What does this card do?"
At some point, I think anyone who's playing Terraformers might be doing that anyways, because But even that, if it's like kind of janky, if there's like janky wording, like some of my cards, like all my counter cards, most of my counter cards have additional effects to them, and most of the time the additional effect won't show up until later on in the game.
Or it's like Terraformers playing against King of Fighters. What does that do again?
I'll be honest. I asked that a lot with really old sets like King of Fighters.
Well, King of Fighters, literally the "What does this do again?" set.
Yeah, because King of Fighters is kind of everywhere.
1,000 power for every trade on what? Okay.
Anyways, this card, I say it's above average. It can't give a lot. At the same time, you can make you lose a lot.
Yeah, but I don't think the drawback is as bad as it looks.
No, it's definitely not as bad as it looks, but it really depends on the state of the game. Like, if you're losing, and this is like literally the only card in your hand, and they have a climax in your hand, you'll be like, well, fuck this game.
Yeah, of course.
But that's a really, really unlikely scenario, unless you're like a really bad player.
Well, yeah, but you have salvages and searches to get out of that sort of thing, right?
Yeah, you should be, but yeah.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Huntsman Spider Marcos. Oh, hey, another Marcos card. Level 1 cost 0, 2,500 power, green character with the modified and bug trait. When this card is discarded for the backup, choose a battling modified character you control and give it 1,000 power until the end of the turn. This is an act counter backup for 1,000 power at level 1.
102k.
2k power.
102k. Above average counter. Not much to say.
Solid counter.
Solid counter.
All right.
I don't think the color and the name's going to matter, to be honest. Unless you like really need that Marco on the field. Unless you really need that marker on field.
Harpy Eagle Alex, level 2 cost 1, 6500 power, red character with the modified and sports traits. If you control a character with Marcos on your front row, this card gets 3000 power. And when this card reverses a level 2 or higher character in battle, you may pay 1. If you do, salvage a character.
Best comparison I would say would be Haruka and Mickey from Modern Master. Because it's practically the same thing, almost.
Thoughts? You think this is a playable card?
It depends on your deck makeup. Because
Yeah. Considering what Marcos we've seen, and they're not really good.
I mean, like Marco, technically this card is technically a 2/195 all time as long as you keep Marco on field.
And no, it has to be in the front row. That's the thing. You can't run the back row ones.
That is true. That's what I mean. If you keep Marco in the front row, this card is technically a 2/195, and that gains an effect on reversing a level 2 or higher, which is definitely playable. Definitely playable. The problem is you need a Marco that's in the front row that is playable, which I'm not. Well, okay, I just said that totally wrong. Well, let's say you played that 2/2, which is now then questionable, but then you see options. But you see options there. It's hard to say, because you really need that gain. You really need to get that. You really need that power gain to kill any level 2s.
I really don't know.
general.
I really don't know. I really don't know about this card. I think it's just too situational.
I think we need to see more different Marco cards in general.
Okay. It's looking like we're coming to the end though, and this is pretty much it.
No, it is only halfway, man.
Seriously?
Yes!
Oh hell.
We move on.
Oh my goodness. Halfway. Wow. Protecting his subordinate Shokichi Komachi. This level 0 cost 0, 3500 power blue character with the modified and bug traits. When this comes into play, mill 2. If there is at least one climax among those 2 cards, this comes into play rested. And character encore.
I honestly
That's
think
solid card.
Solid card, yes. But I still think
3 or 4 of.
I think Akari will still be better than this.
I think this is still a good card for blue. Like if you were going to be running blue cards. 3 or 4.
I still think Akari will be better than this.
Really?
Yes, the one that's 0/025 during your opponent's turn. This gains 15 in a level if your opponent has 3 or less other characters on field.
Yeah, but there's no reason why you couldn't run both, right? You usually run around 2 beater type cards, and then the rest are just tech, right?
It depends on the deck. I mean, like, I only run 1 beater card, and I rarely play that card in the first place.
Well, yeah.
Because I have 1 other card that guess makes everything a beater. But outside the point, it's hard to say how good this card is, in my opinion. I mean, like, you have to build 2. If there's a climax, this card goes to rest. That is 1 turn delayed, which may or may not be an issue.
I just heard the screams of all the Evangelion players that play Rey.
That is different. I play Risco lately, and I'll be honest, getting that climax build out is actually kind of hard at times. And I want to build climaxes sometimes because, you know, free stock is free.
Yeah.
So I'll give it pass.
Yeah, I pass it too, yeah. I think it's actually more than pass, but just slightly over pass.
I'm just giving it a pass because Akari is a card.
Well, I don't think Akari being a card means that this card's not playable.
I'm just saying, I still think Akari will be played over this card.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Member of Annex 1, Michelle. Level 3 cost 2, 10,000 power, blue character with the modified and bug traits. This card can't side attack. When this comes into play, from your hand or via the effect of medication, you can pay 1. If you do, this card gains the following ability until the end of the turn. When it reverses its opponent in battle, take the top card of your clock and put it in your waiting room. This ability activates once per turn. When using active ability, all characters you control gain 2k until the end of this turn. Wait, what?
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Why is that in a blue card?
Which one? The last one?
Yeah.
But Michelle has been all like that. Have you not noticed that all the Michelle cards has that one specific effect?
I guess I didn't really notice. Awkward.
Anyways, this card is pretty bad.
On play, you gain 1. If you reverse your opponent, you heal 1.
But this is the thing. This is the thing. It's on play. It's not on reverse. That means that you have to pay this beforehand. And the worst part is,
Dress Up Nagato, this is not.
yes, this is not Dress Up Nagato. It's
Much worse.
It's worse. It's really bad. Honestly, no. Actually, never mind. You know, I was compared to that level 3 from earlier, but no. Honestly, that level 3 is it's gotta be worse than this. But
This is a junk double R though. This is a double R. The other one was uncommon.
Oh yeah, okay. This is could be a junky level 3 chunky blue R's, double R. Man, it's pretty bad. I'm not gonna. It's bad. The fact that he cannot side attack could be bad too. I mean, like,
To be fair, it can be brought out at level 3, and I guess let's talk about it with the event in context. Medication, level 2 cost 2 blue event. You may discard a card with Michelle in its name from your hand to the waiting room. If you do, choose a member of Annex 1 Michelle from your waiting room and play it on any board or your stage.
now we could see this as a encore phase change. Like I said from Akari before, to be honest, Akari has the same type of card. Actually, Akari has the exact same type of card.
What do you mean encore phase change? This you can play this during your main phase.
That's what I mean. You can look. I mean, like cost-wise, you can see that's an encore phase change.
Yeah, because you're essentially playing it from hand.
No, you don't have to.
Well, okay, granted, but it's essentially playing it from hand, turning any Michelle card from your hand into that, and you ditch one because you're playing the event. So with the event, is this card playable? I'm expecting the answer to be no.
Even with the event, the answer is still gonna be no. Yes, you have a better chance of killing cards at level 2. Yes, you have a better chance of killing a card at level 2 to get that heal. But you still have to pay 1 to heal, and you still have to prep it. And what if that card goes away for some dumbass reason?
Yeah,
No,
no
it's
comment.
no, no,
No
It's
comment.
it's bad
No.
bad card. Both of them.
Okay.
No. Okay, okay. I'll give medication. Medication. It's upside. It's at least. I think medication is a good card. The card it goes to is a bad card.
And to combo off with all of this, reliable leader Michelle, level 0 cost 0, 500 power, blue character with the modified and bug traits. When this comes into play, you may pay 1. If you do, choose a card called Medication from your waiting room and add it to your hand. This has an active brainstorm, spammable, so mill 4. For every climax you get, search your deck for a modified character, add it to your hand, then discard 1 card from your hand to your waiting room, and then shuffle your deck.
I still think this card would be rather stable just because of the brainstorm effect. To be honest.
Is this better than the Alex brainstorm?
Matchup dependent. Matchup dependent. I'm not going to comment any more than that.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, moving on then.
Anyways, spammable brainstorm. You use it. Not sure you'd be using it for the first effect, but I think you'd be using it for the brainstorm. At least,
Okay.
At least for the brainstorm. It's a good brainstorm.
Yeah,
It's a good brainstorm. You'll be using it for the brainstorm. We move on.
All right, heading for Mars Hizumaru Akari, level 0, cost 0, 1500 power, with the red character with the modified and bug trait. When this comes into play, choose one of your opponent's standing characters and set it to rest. When this card is reversed, and the level of the card's opposite character is level 0 or lower, put that character also into reverse. What?
Okay, we can see. Okay, I'll just go with the. It has uses for level 0 and level 1 for Akari.
Okay.
For
Oh
level
yeah, I see it.
For level 0, it's just a straight up level 0 suicider. There's nothing wrong with that. For level 1, we have that 1/155 that gains 15 for every card that goes from stand to rest. There is no real force rate for Akari to do it at level 1, unlike Automaster. Automaster at level 1 could do it forced. Akari could do it forced at level 2, but no more than. But that might be too late.
Yeah, that is. So at least you have a force rate of doing it at level 0.
You do have a force rate of doing it, but it might be too slow. No, I'm saying that. I'd say that you have to play another card just to gain another 15.
Well, let's put it this way. At least in this case, the Suiciders are useful past level 0.
This card is useful past level 0 for certain cards. If you're not playing that certain card on field right at that point in the game, it's kind of just a 0 Suicider.
Man, this Terraformer set is starting to look like Idolmaster with how much it's going towards certain characters.
I think that's just accurate in general.
No, I mean like there's like these 2 that pair up, there are these 2 that pair up, there's these 3 that work together, there's these 2 that pair up, then this one that's just solo by himself, and then this one that's solo by himself. Like, it's character-based linking type thing. Weird.
That might be the theme for Terraformers, to be honest. Most series have some kind of small theme to go in for them.
And then cockroaches. Alright.
So this card, because it's Zero Suicider, playable. The second effect, the first effect's not going to matter unless you play Akari Heavy.
Or if there's a stun card at level 1.
There is one, but that costs you 2 stock.
Yeah.
And even then, that's kind of pointless at that point. Because that card goes back to stand and goes from rest to stand anyways first.
Yeah. Alright. Taking the field, Hizumaru Akari, level 1 cost 0, 4000 power, red character with the modified and bug trait. For each one of your opponent's characters in rest, this card gets 500 power and clock encore. This card is better than most people think, but still worse than other people think. Because
it's
when
kind
this
of hard.
card reverses a character, it goes to reversed, making other copies of this character worse. So you don't want to run this at more than maybe 1 or 2 copies, but it's still pretty good.
It depends. Like, yes, that's for sure. If like your opponent has like one card in rest, this card's only like 45 clock on court. It's gonna be pretty. That's pretty bad, and I don't think your opponent will be resting cards really nilly if that 1/1's on field as well. So that means their back row is most likely in stand as well. That technically means if assuming they have a full front row of cards in rest, this card is only a 55 with clock on court. That goes down more, in fact. And you have to remember that this card, well, technically does gain power per attack. It's not a lot compared to the 1/1. And if they end up losing that card anyways, it goes back to where it was before.
Yeah, I think I see your point now. You need to really be able to rest your opponent's back row, and you can only currently do that with the level 0. Never mind.
I mean, like, if Akari gets a level 1 combo that's similar to Haruka, actually, in fact, similar to their level 2 Akari, I would say this card is more playable. But right now, it's kind of... I'm also to be played at 1065, to be honest. That's how I feel, to be honest.
I see. Alright, and I think that's actually it for all the Terraform. Yes, it is.
Yes, this podcast is short, goddamn too long for what it is.
Well, there's still more to talk about, unfortunately, if we're talking about length. Because there was a press release about the upcoming Ultimate Blade... Unlimited Blade Work set, and it is getting a sort of resonance mechanic. And this has been mistranslated a couple of times, so let me clear this up. The resonance mechanic involves combining 2 characters in order to be able to do a powerful effect. What we don't know is how it's going to be done. What we can assume is that it's not going to be like how it was before. So we've had some effects in Weiss Schwarz where we've had characters coming together to do stuff. We've had in Vivid Red docking, where you take 2 characters on stage, send them to memory, and then change into a character from the waiting room, and that becomes more powerful because you changed into it that way. Then you have a couple of other series, I don't have their names right off bat, where if this character is on the stage, it gets something, and when the opposite character has the first character on stage, they get some... Ah, yes, Lucky Star is a good example. The Kagami and Tsukasa that get 1,000 power from each other. We've seen that kind of mechanic before, but we know it's going to be using 2 characters, and it's going to be a sort of combination. So we know it's not going to be something that's been previously done in Weiss.
I don't know. It sounds really glorified, to be honest.
It probably is.
It sounds super glorified. I think it's going to be fucking janky.
To be fair, I think Bushiroad has learned their lesson from putting... Hey, let's try something new. Let's put it on something that's super safe. Bad idea. Look what happened to Excel World.
Anyways, it makes sense they put in Unlimited Blade's work because the whole Servant Master thing, I would imagine this will show up again in Shining Residence.
This is actually what I think here. I think that if you combine a certain card and a certain 2 cards together, but instead of sending them to memory, you put them underneath the incoming card as a marker.
That is very possible. It is very possible.
That's what I'm thinking.
Or we might just go ahead and see Favorite Red all over again.
I don't think so.
Not likely, but just people has also speculated there's gonna be like another extra deck. A type of extra deck.
What is this? Victory Spark?
No, Victory Spark was different. Victory Spark had a surprise zone.
No. I'm just joking around because some people are likening this resonance mechanic to Victory Spark.
Okay. It's not out of the possibility that there is gonna be some sort of extra deck coming along with this Residence. It's definitely not out of the question. That's for sure. If that's the case, I'm not sure what to say. It almost feels like we're looking like the what's it called G Stride in Vanguard.
Oh, you mean just Stride in general?
Like kind of something like Stride, maybe.
The G part is the G assist. When you ride.
The G system, I believe they called it.
Yes. They added 3 new things. One of which was requested for a long time, which was a help in getting not great stuff.
Oh, let's not talk about Vanguard. We'll stop there.
Okay, fair enough.
But I'm just saying that it's not out of the question that a possible extra deck might show up.
Okay. I really don't. I really hope it doesn't.
But at this point, we're just speculating right here. I don't think we should be talking about this too long. We might talk about more about it once we get some kind of representation.
Of course. And it will probably be on the cards of the day.
It'll probably be cards on the day, unless we feel like it's too lengthy. We might do it. We might do it on a separate podcast. Okay, that is it for this week. Please do the usual YouTube thing, and we'll talk to you next time.
All right. We will catch you later.